afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Van Helsing Comic-Con 2020 at Home edition. My name is Chapdelaine. I'm one of the producers of Van Helsing, and I'm really excited to reintroduce to you some very well-known faces, minus a lot of bloody makeup and weapons, of course. First up, of course, we have Kelly Overton, who plays Vanessa.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hi, Kelly. Jonathan Scarfe, who plays Axel.
Hey, everybody.
Woo!
Tricia Helfer, the Dark One, Dracula.
Hello.
Jennifer Cheon Garcia, who plays Ivory.
Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah,
hello.
The hunky Aleks Paunovic, who plays Julius. And Keeya King, who plays Violet.
Yay.
Nicole Munoz, who plays Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're lucky to have Jonathan Lloyd Walker, our showrunner and executive producer.
Oh.
Hey, Jonathan.
Waiting with the hunky prelude.
Sitting in the best place possible. And then, of course, we have Chad Oakes and Michael Frislev, executive producers. Hey, guys.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
So now, before we get going with this, I know there's been a ton of fan questions, mostly on Facebook and Twitter. And one of the biggest that keeps coming up over and over again in several different languages is, where is Vanessa Van Helsing? So the last we saw of her was in episode 407, aptly titled Metamorphosis, where she finally gets to meet Tricia, the Dark One, and then all hell breaks loose. We've got Nicole in there, we've got Keeya in there. So let's take a look at that scene again so we can refresh our memory as to what's going on.
Exquisite. Fascinating. And still I sense some of myself within you. But how can that be? I was made with your blood. It is in me now. Rooted at the core. Yes. The beauty of my essence flows within you. Them as well. Don't touch them. They're mine. This one I will keep. But the children, I wish to bathe in their blood and wash away the years of deprivation. You will not. What is this? There is more of me in you than any Van Helsing that I have ever known. But you will still bow down. It is your fate. I bow to no one. You dare to defy me? To fire my anger. No, you misunderstand me. My master. I wish to stand by your side, not bow at your feet. What deception is this? No deception. Let me offer them to you as a show of my devotion.
Do not trust her. The Van Helsings are treacherous, deadly.
Silence. I will grant you this wish. My curious new toy. Spill the blood of your children, so that I might cleanse myself.
What's happening? Vanessa! What are you doing?
Run when you can. Find the pages.
No!
Don't be afraid.
I could always feel the darkness in you.
It's in you too. Fight it. I must have you as my newest bride.
No! I am your one! Your only!
If you had ever been enough for me, there would be only you. But just like my affection for you, this world's light must be extinguished. Come, bask in my glory. Fulfill your destiny. Like Jacob before you, join by my side as we welcome the dawning of the eternal darkness, as I unleash the power of hell to rule this world. Come, take my hand, my newest concubine. Become one with the darkness. That's exactly what I had in mind. You don't know how long I've waited for this moment. Because you're right. This is my destiny. I long to be by your side, intertwined, together, forever. There's just one thing you should know. Nobody with my family.
Damn.
There they go.
Damn.
And we're gone.
Great scene. That's a great scene.
It is a really great scene. Thanks, Rachel.
What happens next?
Exactly. I mean, and Kelly, I mean, your season this season, not a ton of episodes, but you were fantastic. And a lot of people are talking about it. You really were. What was it like that day working, you know, Tricia and with Nicole and Keeya and everybody, that scene that was your final scene of season 4?
It was awesome. I mean, that was a big one. And Jonathan, you know, behind the helm directing, it was a big scene. Those were some long days. We were in that scene for a while, and it was intense. And it was my first time working with Tricia, which was wonderful to have, you know, somebody new coming on and to finally be face to face with the Dark One, like finally, was awesome. And she was lovely to work with. And, you know, she's got this makeup and these eyes, and, you know, it's a crazy scene, and you just have to get lost in it. I just remember just having to go there, just having to go for it and connect. And I remember it being a lot of fun, you know, and knowing what was coming, that I was gonna go into, you know, the vortex and the abyss. It was very bittersweet, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And also doing it with Nicole and Keeya, and those moments in there also, and with Sam. I mean, with Christopher, it was a really big, awesome scene. So yeah, it was really cool.
And how about for you, Tricia? What were your thoughts on that day working with Kelly?
I mean, to start a show and start a character with that scene, it's a little daunting.
You were awesome. You were so professional and just so lovely to have. You were awesome.
Thank you. Well, I was definitely welcomed, which is always a huge plus when you come in. And Jonathan and I had worked together before, so it was nice to have you know, a friendly face. I do remember Kelly us laughing quite a bit at the
oh
end.
My gosh.
There's a few takes where we were almost in too much of giggles, because it was Yeah, getting a little intimate with each other. But no, it was, it's finding, whenever you, at least for myself, when you start a character, I kind of got to live in her a little bit. You actually walk in her shoes, which you don't really get to until you're on set. You're in the clothes, you're in the environment. You can do as much work as possible with your script and in your mind, but until you're actually walking in the shoes and, talking with all the other players. So kind of just felt like, let's go for it and see what's in the room. And Jonathan, I remember we made it a little bit more intimate than it maybe read on the page to begin with.
Yeah, which was, made it that much more challenging, I think, probably, because, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. And so let's be as, essentially intimate as we could possibly be with each other, on hello, which is never easy for anybody. But you guys are amazing.
There, and Jesse in full Oracle makeup, and Sam and everything. It's just like immediately puts you into, okay, I'm in this world.
Oh yeah, okay, we're going for it. We're gonna go far.
And huge props to Jen Kaminsky and the hair and makeup department, because they just totally transformed that, like every other scene. Yeah.
Everything. I mean, the crew top to bottom in terms of that sequence. I mean, whether it's noticeable or not to everyone. I mean, we were shooting inside a studio and creating an outside environment within the studio. So, there's so many people that went into making that, selling that reality. And they, all of them deserve a shout out in terms of doing their jobs. They're fantastic across the board.
Yeah, it certainly was a fan favorite, as I've said, and a lot of discussion about that one online. And Nicole and Keeya, I mean, you got a chance to work with both of these genre powerhouses, and Kelly and Tricia, what was that like for you? I mean, you spent some of your time on your backs getting stabbed, but you were there through all of it. What do you think?
I think it was an interesting scene, that part, because we got to basically just sit and watch and like pretend to be passed out while they were performing, and while the camera was not on me, I got to peek and just and basically learn quite a few lessons on how to act and how to perform.
You don't need lessons on you.
It was quite the in-person masterclass. I enjoyed it.
I think the biggest thing for me was watching Kelly, 5 months pregnant, just swooping and fighting Sam. That was epic. I was like, holy effing crap. Here's this woman just going for it, full throttle, not holding back in this. And this scene took like a couple of days. It wasn't just one day. Like, we were working on this for several days. And just to see someone like Kelly work on the scene with such intensity every single day was like, okay, that's the bar as a young artist. Like, that is where I need to always approach everything with. So it was really inspiring watching Kelly and Tricia work things out and just have like such beautiful stamina and grace, and the way they just move on set. Like, Nicole and I were definitely peeking. Like, we were like on the ground, like, let me see what's going on over there.
Totally fun. Yeah, it was a very fun couple of days. I'm gonna segue now into if some of you eagle-eyed people watching might notice that there's a few of us that are in similar hotel rooms, and that's actually because we may be surprised for some of you are back in production again. And so this is a question now for Chad and Mike. As EPs, what was it like for the both of you having to shut down production during this pandemic? And what did you need to do to get us back up again? And then this also is another question as well for Jonathan Walker.
Well, I'll start in saying it's been hell. First off, you see, it's like having your baby, and your baby has to go away from you. When we shut down on March the 15th, and obviously everybody in the world, not just us, up here in Canada and after returning from Slovakia, but everybody has been thrown into this new reality, this new world. And, between Mike and the executive team, we spent 12 weeks trying to figure out how to come back. safely, between insurance and bonds and closed borders and unions of both sides of the border and banks and, WorkSafe BC, ActSafe BC. It is a miracle. I've always said, and Mike and I have, we've done 97 projects, just over $1 billion in production in 25 years. And we always do a little prayer or I do anyway, on day one. And I always say thank you to say, we're here and it's day one. And here we are again in a new world, and we're not post-COVID. We're still in it. We're still in the first wave. And to be the first production, not only in Canada, but North America, to be back into production, it takes a whole team, village, many lawyers to get here, and it's a miracle. It really is. And everybody who's actually on this call, Mike and Morris and Jonathan Walker rewriting everything, and Mr. Scarfe. I mean, you guys, it's been a huge team, and I'm it was an emotional move, and I wasn't there on set because we're trying to keep as many people away from you thespians and hardworking individuals. But it's anyway, we're fortunate, and I hope and pray that September 17th comes quick without any events or any issues, and we can finish this season, this finale, strong. So.
Well, I'm really proud of the Van Helsing group. We have a lot of people that return. And, when we were first shut down, there was a real sort of emotional letdown, but then I thought to myself, we were fortunate to get out of Slovakia. We got out 3 days before the borders closed. And I felt like, despite there's a sort of a dark heart to the show, that the people involved in the show bring it a lot of heart and a lot of energy. And, after a week of just trying to, deal with the gloom in the zeitgeist, for lack of a better word, I said, hell, we're going to have to get back. We're going to have to get back and finish the show. So we started in the office. I came in every day, collecting the first masks, the first PPE, and seeing the first, inklings of guidelines that were coming out from other jurisdictions in the world. I remember when the Iceland guidelines came out, and we were tracking all of that and started putting together our own process. And I really believe that if any organization can conform and come up with a creative new way to do stuff, it's a film crew. There's a military discipline that's at its heart, and there's a real lovingness, family atmosphere at its core, especially with the Van Helsing family, and we really express that. And and we've been praised in the local British Columbia circles for the safety guidelines that we put together for the show, and we're all in each other's hands for that. And thankfully, there's been remarkably few cases daily within British Columbia, and you might notice a little battle scar on Keeya already. Van Helsing, she's already got a little battle scar, and that's from shooting people. That's from getting back and, the strength within the show. So we won't say who did it, but I think you can tell just by looking at the screen.
Nobody knows who did it.
Nobody knows.
We have no idea what happened.
I gotta go, guys.
What's an accident? An accident.
Nobody knows except for the insurance company.
Well, that's
like a memo to the writer's room for the,
That's a tease for everyone.
No more swords for Ivory.
It's gonna be 10 episodes of pillow fight for the rest of the season.
Unfortunately, masks and etc. doesn't prevent sword play from taking its ugly toll. I won't say any more. I don't want to spoil the suspense of that. But just in conclusion, I really believe in this crew and this group of people that puts together this show. We may not have the resources of a lot of the bigger budget shows, but we make up for it in a fighting spirit and a family atmosphere. And we're really proud of all the people that have made this show over the years and the new people that have come along. And certainly it's great to have Tricia and Keeya and Nicole with us, and Jen, you're in the penalty box. But we're looking forward to having Kelly back with us as well. Jonathan's looking at me saying, "Don't give away the farm, Mike." But I look forward to it. It's a really, really excellent season. So,
Mike, drop the mic. Mike, drop the mic.
No, it's a testament to you guys as producers. The fact that you've gotten us into this position at this point, in spite of all the odds, in spite of the fact that there's everybody's looking to get back to work, and the fact that we are actually back at it right this moment is, we're incredibly fortunate. So thanks to you guys and the effort and everything you've done to get us into this position. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's a family. There's people that have come and gone through the years, in terms of cast and crew, but for the most part, there's been a core unit that has been there from the beginning and is still here now. And because of that, and because of the BC situation, but because of that, you really are in a strong position to be able to do, to be able to get everyone back to work and get everyone functioning safely and operating as a sort of family unit, because we have this history together. Very grateful for all of that.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Fingers crossed, guys. Do those prayers. Fingers crossed. We cross the finish line together, healthy and as one team and one family.
Absolutely.
How about you?
Give people a sort of roadmap for how it can be done.
And Jonathan Walker, what are your thoughts? Your writer's room had been finished. You guys had all the episodes in place, and this all sort of came down after Slovakia. What did you need to do with your room to pivot in order to make this all work?
What room?
It's a Zoom room.
Yeah, no,
it was like, I've just been drinking champagne this whole time. I don't know what y'all are talking
about. So, look, we came back from Slovakia, and we shot some remarkable stuff there. I was really, really excited with how well that had all worked out. But we got off a plane on Monday, March the 9th. And the plan was to carry on. The plan was to get the rest of the season. And as the days ticked by and as the crisis got worse, it became really clear that just wasn't going to happen. And we had to stop. But not only that, the scripts we had in hand, because I had the whole writer's room write pretty much the entire season thinking, yay, we'll have everything in hand before we go to shoot a frame of footage. And so much of that, unfortunately, became a casualty of the circumstances of what we were in and the uncertainty of not knowing how we were going to shoot and what we could shoot and when we could shoot it and who could work and who couldn't work and how they were going to work. And so these guys, Nomadic and the industry as a whole did a real fantastic job of trying to figure out the protocols to just get us back to work when we could. And it was my job with what was left of my writer's room to try and piece together how we were going to make a compelling show and keep the standard of what Van Helsing is and what the fans tune in for. And just keep trying to march forward. And I'll just say this, we're early back to shooting. The stuff I've seen so far that we've shot is really, really great. I think that we're still in for a great season of Van Helsing where we're going to make some fantastic stories. And as most of you know, this is the last season. We are bringing the show to a conclusion. And I have a pretty exciting plan in mind of how we're going to do that. And I just want to keep going so that we can bring it to you guys and that hopefully you'll love it as much as we loved making it, and how much this family means to me, that we've all stuck together to try and get through difficult circumstances, and really ultimately for you guys so that you'll be hopefully happy and entertained to see the journey come to a close.
Mm-hmm. Well said, well said. Now, speaking of Slovakia, we've talked about that a few times, and a fair amount of our online fans know that we've been shooting over there. We started over there at the beginning of the year. And we were lucky to have Tricia and Nicole Jonathan Scarfe was directing for us again this season. He directs 4 episodes in season 5, guys. So we're very lucky there. Yeah, it's awesome. Without any spoilers, can you talk to us a little bit about what it was like shooting in Europe? Very different from shooting here in Canada, obviously.
I'll just sort of give a very quick overview, and then I'd love to let the actors talk about their experience. But I didn't know what to expect. We were heading into a part of Eastern Europe that I'd never worked in before, that I didn't know a lot of people who had worked there before. And thanks again that Nomadic had great relationships with production companies and service producers over there that set us up with an unbelievably good crew who just worked their butts off and went the extra mile at every turn, and everything about that shoot was incredible. And the locations we got to shoot in and the quality of the material we got out of that experience, I think you guys are going to be really excited when we get to actually share it with you. It's pretty cool.
Apparently they weren't good enough to deserve a bottle of that champagne behind you.
Oh, I bought a few.
That's okay. We all have to have something to strive for. Someday we'll earn one.
So yeah, other than the fabulous costumes, Tricia, what do you remember most about Slovakia?
It was an incredible experience. I won't even try and go down like character route because I know I'll give away spoilers left, right, and center. But just such an incredible experience, and what Jonathan was saying about the crew just worked really hard, and to be in these old castles, like you didn't have to use any imagination for your locations. You were there. Although I will say, none of them were heated.
No, sorry.
No, it was the lovely thing, the good thing was because of the costumes, those grand old costumes and everything, you could layer up underneath. So Nicole, I'm sure you can agree that we were like underneath this beautiful costume or, whatever it is, there were layers and layers and layers of warm-up cozies. But no, it was phenomenal to work there and to work. Kim Coates came in, who was just a blast to work with as well. I'm really excited for the fans to see those episodes.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
You've seen edits. I haven't seen anything. But.
I haven't seen anything either. I really want to see some of the cool shots we got outside on the big hill. That's all I can say, I think.
Big hill.
Oh, I actually got to see a little a piece of that literally yesterday in the elevator. Our special effects coordinator shared with me the sort of like final.
Oh yeah, I saw that
one
too.
Of those moments, which I won't really talk about, but it was fantastic. It was really, really exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, some of the most beautiful stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just saying some of the most beautiful stuff I think we've ever shot. It's awesome. The fans will love it, I think. So now let's jump to present day, because as we said, we are back. We've been shooting for about a week. We're back in the interior of BC, a place called Kamloops area. It's sort of like the desert. And we've got 2 of our wonderful thespians who've been with us this whole last week. Jen and Keeya, talk to us a little bit about what it's been like. But it's a super scary episode, everyone. Just watching in Video Village creeped me out quite frequently. So.
Okay, good. Mission accomplished. It was kind of surreal because, we were in quarantine. There wasn't, you just had, your job was to stay at home, stay safe. And then all of a sudden, boom, it was there and you were on set and you're just kind of like, it happened so quickly. And I had to dust the cobwebs off of the acting muscles and things like that. But I had a ton of fun and getting to work with Keeya so closely. I mean, she is a bad ass. I can say
back
ass,
at
right? But yeah, and it was so much fun, and I can't wait until everyone can see it, and yeah, I don't know, it was really surreal. There was moments where you're sitting there and you're looking at your blood, you're looking at your weapons, you're looking at all this stuff, and you're just like, oh my gosh, we're here. But there was also something that was so real about it this time, being in a pandemic, being in this where we are as humanity, and now bringing that into this apocalyptic vampire world. There was something that was very, very close to home about it. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's gonna be good, I hope. But yeah, no, it was intense. It was intense, but it was a lot of fun.
Keeya, you're feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about the nose.
It was intense.
Oh man! There was this evil crow that came swooping in.
Oh yeah, it was a crow.
The psychotic crow.
Psychotic crow.
I killed it though, guys. It's gone.
And then
They like to
Nick
talk
Oh
about-
yeah, make yourself a hero.
It's dead now.
We like to talk about props in our world as we've got the real prop. There's the real weapon, whether it's a machine gun or a machete or whatever it happens to be. And then there's a rubber version of whatever that is. It's going to be stunt friendly or, actor friendly if you happen to get hit on the nose with it. And oftentimes this rubber is pretty much as hard as the real thing.
Yeah.
We've all experienced that.
Thanks,
I now know to duck.
There's not really a happy medium. There's either the rubber, there's the real thing, there's the totally phony looking like Nerf thing, and then there's the rubber thing, which is essentially as hard as the real thing. And I'm sorry to see that you probably got hit with the hard rubber or the real thing.
It was
No, it wasn't the real thing. It wasn't the real thing.
And it was a good swing.
It was definitely a good swing. It's going to be an epic episode. Extremely epic. But I love what you mentioned, Jen, talking about how just the world that we're living in right now, and then to go back onto set. I think we found ourselves saying a lot of times, like, there's no need to insert fear into these scenes because it was legitimate. We were a little bit afraid sometimes just right now because of the pandemic and what's going on. And we were also filming in Kamloops, which has a lot of snakes, rattlesnakes, and things of that sort.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So there was spiders.
Spiders, right, Morris?
Yeah. I was bit by a spider. Didn't tell everybody.
No.
Are you Spider-Man now?
I'm Spider-Man now.
His powers.
But yeah, it's cool. And now we've got Aleks here and Jonathan. Jonathan is directing the next episode with us here in Kamloops with Aleks, and it's a really fun episode as well. What's it like for you to be back at work, boys?
It's great. I mean, it's everything that those guys were saying. I mean, we're the first ones out of the gate. Again, Nomadic pulling it all together for us to kind of be the ones that are paving the way for everyone else. Everyone's looking at us to go see. Let's see how Van Helsing does it, and then they'll learn from that. And I think jumping feet first into the water and being the ones that kind of are driving the first productions off of pandemic is just really exciting. And I'm just excited to go back to work and see everyone's faces and get at it.
Excellent. John, any notes for you directing this first episode?
No,
back?
I mean, like we were talking about before, just so thrilled to get the chance to be back at work, generally, and drove back up here this morning to Kamloops. I didn't even see my 15-year-old daughter this weekend because she has a job, at the local marina. I felt like, well, we're trying to protect this unit. We're trying to keep this sort of working pod, or whatever you want to sort of refer to it as intact as possible. Drove back up here and got to see Aleks. Got to reunite with Aleks for a minute or two. Meet Allie. And
but I mean, I had
work through the scenes, talk about what we've got ahead of us this week. But all of it's really exciting. It's just really great to be back in the mode of working. Moving forward.
Just to go further what John was saying, like I felt the same way because I knew we were coming to production, and I was isolating and I was social distancing like a maniac. That I had my birthday, but a year ago I decided to get a chalet in Whistler, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and I'm like, I'm gonna have such a great party there for my birthday. And because of the pandemic, it was just me sleeping in one room and then sleeping in another room.
39.
Yeah, 39.
Big birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
My 15th anniversary of my 39th birthday. But just using I just didn't want to have anybody around because I didn't want to be the guy that, we had everyone had our COVID tests. We all tested negative, and then have a big party, and then all of a sudden be that dude. So it was all about this isolating, and so we can all be back as a team. So yeah.
Well, we thank you for it, and we will throw you one hell of a 39th birthday party when we get at the very end.
I love it.
Now, we're almost ready to wrap up, but what we wanted to do, because normally we take fan questions and we're not able to do that on Zoom, we combed through social media to see what the main questions the fans had to ask after season 4 and in anticipation of season 5. And 2 questions come up all the time because everyone knows this is our 5th and final season. The first question that always comes up is, are you guys going to do a spin-off? And the second question always is, when is season 5 going to come out on Sci-Fi? When are we going to be able to see it? So what can we answer?
Well, I can say that this has all been a lie, and we have a sixth season coming up.
Stop it!
I don't know who said final. Who said final?
I think Jonathan Walker just fainted in his champagne.
In his champagne hut.
Yeah. What we can say is we can at least tease the intentions without it being official. But now that we're back into production, we've got 3 episodes in the can with some pickups to happen, that the hope is for us to return late fall, early winter, as in November or December, back on the air for season 5. That's what Sci-Fi is planning and hoping. They're trying to bring this within this 2020 to salvage some programming. So that's if we can get through all of our episodes. And I know Mike and Post are going to be working 24/7 to get to those dates. So that's what the intention and the hope is. This is July. They probably won't make an announcement until September. But I think we've got lots of work to do our end. So, and spin-off, well, those conversations, there has been nothing official, and I don't think anybody wants to jinx it. We just want to get through and get this season done. So, but you know what? You never say never.
Ivory's sword is going to be the lead of the spin-off.
The sword of
Ivory. The sword of Ivory. Thanks again, everybody, for taking your time today. And everyone, as I've already said, is excited about this season getting done. So fingers crossed and prayers we make it through. And yeah, thanks to all the Comic-Con fans and everybody for watching.
Yes, thanks to the fans.
Thanks,
See
everybody.
you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you all
Great to
soon.
see everybody, even virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Be safe.
Wear a mask.
Bye.
Wear a mask. Be
Bye.
safe.
Bye.